Okay, so something interesting just happened. I hit record, and then all it recorded was me sitting down at the table, and then it stopped recording for some reason. I must have hit stop by mistake. Actually, I know what happened. I needed to check my phone for something, for a delivery, and I stopped the recording. But then I didn't realize that I stopped the recording. So I have just done a whole bunch of this reading already. And I asked, is this reading just for me, or do I need to hit record and start recording again and recap what I've done to now? And I heard to recap. So what this reading is about, it's going to be called How Deep Does This Go? Because I finally got some regular candles, some regular candles to put in my candle holder. But then I had to dig out all of the wax that was built up in there. And as I was digging it out, I thought to myself, how deep does this go? Like, it's getting deeper and deeper. I didn't realize this candle holder was so deep even. And as I was doing that, I also, was like, oh, I've hit rock bottom. So that's how deep it goes. It's the rock bottom, right? Because it's a rock, this candle holder. And so I thought about that, the hitting rock bottom. Is that how deep it goes? And, the expression is we have to get to the rock bottom before we can, resurface or change or whatever. So through all of that, I realized, that this reading was going to be called How Deep Does It Go? And then so I got this card first, which I'll look at and read again. Currents of emotion and uncontrolled feelings. And then as I was shuffling for the next card, I thought, does it go deeper than the rock bottom? Because the rock bottom just is a point where we feel we can't break through it, right? But it's because it's hard, the surface is hard and it's hard to get through. But maybe we need to break through that and go below the rock bottom, right? And that's how deep it goes, even below the rock bottom. And then this card came out, Beneath the Surface, Hidden Truth, Something Unknown. And then I got this card, and that's when I realized that the camera kept going dark. And I was like, why is the camera going dark? And then I noticed there was no timer. And then I was like, oh, because I haven't been recording. All right, so that's a recap of how this started. One of the things I had to read as we started this, I opened the energy with the 432 Hertz again, and they asked me to read it again. So I'm going to read that again. And it says, you are being encouraged to call in support and guidance with regard to your relationships and connections with others. Okay, that's interesting, because I'm pretty sure that's not what I read. Oh, yeah, that isn't what I read. Okay, so, but this is interesting. You are being encouraged to call in support and guidance with regard to relationships, your relationships and connections to others. But what I was guided to do was to read from this book, actually. So let me read that 432 as well, and it goes well with that. So that 432 says, the universe provides sacred connections and opportunities to benefit my life path at the perfect time and in the perfect way. So these two go very well together, these 432s. Maybe that's why I have to start it over, because I missed this. Let me read them at the same, flowing together. You are being encouraged to call in support and guidance with regard to your relationships and connections with others. The universe provides sacred connections and opportunities to benefit my life path at the perfect time and in the perfect way. Okay? So one of the a couple of readings ago, I think it was, one of the things that came out was that you have to look at your emotions. They're part of your being and they're part of your growth. And understanding your emotions is key. And obviously understanding your emotions is key to have healthy relationships. So this is interesting. And then this, how deep does this go? And does it go below the rock bottom? And this currents of emotions talks about uncontrolled feelings, okay? And then beneath the surface, and then the confusion card. So I hear the other reason that I had to restart this is because they want me to read these cards slightly differently than what I did before. So I'm going to go to the first card, Currents of Emotion. And it says, when the currents of emotion is reversed, and I know I don't have it reversed here, but they want me to read the reversal. It heralds a time of increasing calm. An upsetting person in your environment is on the way out, or a problematic situation is about to be resolved. Either way, the current of high emotion that's been carrying you along is settling down into a quieter and easier energy. You now have the power to get on top of things, so take advantage of the quiet time ahead. Connect with your spirits of joy, hope, and inspiration. Your powerful yet peaceful approach will expand the harmony into every area of your life. All right, and then beneath the surface, they want me to read the reversal of this one. When this card is reversed, the iceberg turns upside down and the hidden information becomes revealed. Some manipulation or deceit will be clearing up, and honesty will be increasing in your personal and professional relationships. In fact, this harmonic energy could open up the lines of communication with others, creating greater connections on many levels. Personally, you now have the power and the courage to change old habits of negative behavior and self-talk. So keep releasing unhealthy patterns and old self-critical lies. As you do, your life will shine with the light of your eternal truth. And now the confusion one, and they want me to read the reverse of that. The confusion card reverse marks a time of greater peace and understanding. The path ahead becomes clear, and you feel more purposeful and directed. This is an auspicious time, for you now have the power to make a decision that truly resonates with your purpose and desires. You also have the insight to determine the kind of action necessary to make those dreams a reality. Trust your heart and make a plan. If this card is near the Conscious Steps card, this calling is especially important now. Know that your inner strength and clarity will carry you through to a beneficial outcome. Okay, interesting. Very interesting. So back to how deep does this go? And it goes beneath the surface. It goes below the rock bottom. I feel like you've hit the rock bottom and you've gone below it. Like, you know, it's like, and that's why you're asking the question, how deep does this go? Like whatever happened in your life you thought was rock bottom, whether it was a relationship crisis, whether it was a work crisis, whether it was a financial crisis, whether it was a spiritual crisis, whether it was, you know, a physical crisis like an addiction or something. You know, so you hit the rock bottom, I feel, at one point in time. But it wasn't the end. It wasn't the it wasn't the end. It was actually kind of the beginning. So you're like, how deep does this go, right? And that's what this is showing. It's beneath, you're beneath that surface now. You broke through that rock bottom, and you've been dealing with all of this stuff, okay? But it's starting to clear, okay? It's starting to clear. And so there were two other cards that came out that I haven't explored yet, and one is the Wisdom of the Magi, and they want me to put it here, and the other is Achievement, and they want me to put it here. So let me read the Wisdom of the Magi first. Okay. Mental clarity. The Magi bring powerful, perhaps life-changing guidance to you. When this card appears in your reading, it indicates that an important project either is already in the works or will be coming your way soon. This may be something personal, or it may relate to a career or professional goal. Either way, you have the ability now to take on even complex endeavors, and you will be guided and inspired by this great eternal collective mind. In ancient times, people sought assistance from the Magi, the wise men who were alchemists and astrologists. It's funny because I read this card as alchemist, not achievement, when it appeared. So that's really weird. These masters were thought to have access to hidden magical information. So whenever you need input on a decision or plan, open your heart and mind to the empowering wisdom of the majestic group of guides. When meditating or falling asleep, call on the Magi. Enlightening guidance will be coming your way. Okay, and then Achievement. completion and reward. The achievement card reveals a time of great satisfaction. Something you've been working on is coming to fruition, and you'll be reaping the rewards. Whether it's a career or a personal goal, the time and effort you've devoted will definitely pay off. And if you're just starting a new project, give it your all. Like the runner in this card, you may find it necessary to put in lots of training and preparation, but the end results will be a win. So if there's more work for you to do, continue planning and forging ahead. Connect with Spirit to help you in every way, and enjoy the achievement when it comes. Throughout it all, remembering the enduring strength and wisdom of your soul. Okay, they want me to look at some of the numbers here. The 31-5 is the first one they're showing me. So let's look at that. 31-5. Here it is. Nope. The changes you are seeing are the answers to your prayers. Trust that the next steps on your path will be delivered to you. Okay. And now the 34-5. Archangel Michael and his angels of protection are putting a ring of light and safety around you. Okay, so do not worry. Do not worry. You are protected and you are guided. As you navigate everything below the surface. Okay? Okay. Now the 5-1-6. Taking time to assess what is allowing you to experience more joy and what is standing in the way of your light will enable you to know which way to move from here. Okay, and then 11:55 on the timer. So, taking time to assess what is allowing you to experience more joy and what is standing in the way of your light will enable you to know which way to move from here. So move toward more joy and away from whatever is standing in the way of your light. Okay, we saw 11:55 on the timer, so I'm going to look up that number for you as well. You could look it up yourself, but I'm going to do it right here. So let me see. 11:55. Oops. Okay. Live your life truthfully. The meaning of 11:55 angel number reminds you that you are a blessed individual. You need always to appreciate the things in your life. You are a blessed individual. Remember that. Live your life in that truth. Okay. It has a strong message concerning the ability to follow your intuition and heart to pursue new opportunities and directions in life. This number talks about the role of other people in deterring you from following your decisions. Your choices and decisions should not be based on someone else's ideas, but on your thinking and reflections. It is essential to follow your opportunities and the new directions that present themselves in your life, because doing so assures you achieving a greater purpose in life. Your life, that you have your life in your hands. You should take charge by doing things in the manner you feel most favorable to you. Positivity is essential in life because through it you can make decisions that will benefit you and the people around you. As long as the angels protect you, you should only focus on the positive things in life and be optimistic. Oh. No, it's so weird when it does that. When this voice tries to come through. All right, so it happened again. I got interrupted for this delivery again. So there must be a delivery that's going to interrupt your life in some way. But anyways, so I had shuffled to get a final card, and this is the card that came out. Prosperity. Okay. And they wanted me to read the 542, so I'm going to read that again. And it says, You are being guided to be open and honest about what you need for your relationships to feel harmonious and safe. Speak up. Okay, so this is very much tied to relationships. Your prosperity is tied to your relationships, is what I'm hearing. And that's why it's how deep does this go and why your emotions are so important, okay? So now they want me to read the 542 in this book as well. So I'm going there. My path of ascension requires me to relate to myself. Okay, so your relationship is so important. I was saying that, but it's your relationship with yourself. Okay, how deep does that go? What are the emotions there? What are the negative emotions, especially, and where are they coming from and why? Right? That's very much tied to your prosperity. So, my path of ascension requires me to relate to myself, others. So, the first and foremost relationship was with yourself, but how you relate to yourself is how you're going to relate to others ultimately, right? And the universe. So I'm going to read this again. My path of ascension requires me to relate to myself, others, and the universe with increasing love, respect, and boundaries that enable my soul to thrive. So again, speak up, say what you want from yourself, from others, and from the universe. Speak up with love and respect and with boundaries. Speak up and say what you want and need for your soul to thrive. Okay? And that is the key to your prosperity. So how deep does this go? It goes very deep. Okay? It goes to the core of your being, is what I'm hearing. Okay. It's like the core to the earth, right? Beneath the surface, beneath the rock bottom, there is a core, a soft core. Okay? That's what I'm hearing. I have no idea what's at the core of the earth. Okay. So, this card. This card heralds a time of great prosperity opening for you. Abundant blessings may come in many forms and for many reasons. It may be that a project you've been working on for a long time is finally coming to fruition. An investment or potential property sale could be paying off, or some unexpected gift like an inheritance may be coming your way. Get ready to enjoy the fruits of your labor and the rewards of your faith. You deserve great undiluted joy, and that radiant garden will be blossoming soon. Even if the shower of blessings only comes in drops and sprinkles at first, remember to notice the gifts already gracing your life. That's what one of these things said, I think it was a message, one of the angel numbers said to see the truth that you are blessed and remember that and appreciate that, right? The moments of laughter, beauty, peace, and spirit presence can bring you joy each day. The more you acknowledge those and other forms of value in your life, the more your newfound prosperity will grow and multiply. There's an affirmation with this one. Abundant forms of value fill my life. I am attracting increasing prosperity, greater peace of mind, and more joyous times. Okay, this is all beautiful and wonderful, but I had a thought. Okay, so I don't know if it's my thought, if it's your thought, if it's our thought, if it's everyone's thought. But the thought that came, and this is why it's so important. Anyways, the thought that came is, it's something about relating to others. The thought was, I can do this when I'm on my own, but how do I do this when I'm with others? The thought of, how do I focus on positivity? How do I focus on love? How do I focus on joy when there are so many others in this world that do not? So this is how deep does this go? How deep does this go? They're reminding me that. So do you truly focus on joy? Do you truly focus on love? Do you truly focus on positivity? Now, in this present moment, maybe you used to before life got to you. Maybe you used to before you had relationships. Maybe you used to before a number of things, right? But do you now? Is that who you are right now? So now what I'm hearing is, because of this currents of emotions and the uncontrolled feelings, that started this reading, I'm hearing, how deep does this sorrow go? Because sorrow is the opposite of joy, right? How deep does this sorrow go? So this is getting interesting. I wasn't expecting this. I thought I was almost done this reading. I'm going to look up the root of the word sorrow because I'm being guided to. Sometimes that happens. I'm guided to look up the root of the words. So root of word sorrow. Here we go. Interesting. Okay. Comes from the German word Sorge, which I have no idea what that means, or the Old English word. Can I look up that word? I guess I could. Sorge. S-O-R-G-E. Meaning. Let's see what that says. Oh, it's in German. Well, that makes sense, right? It would be in German. How do I translate? Worries. Okay, translate Sorge to English. Worries. So that's interesting. So sorrow comes from worries. So fear. So how deep does this sorrow go? How deep does this fear go? Is it the fear of what? What is it the fear of? I feel like it's the fear of relationship, because this is really, a lot of this is about relationship. The fear of the other, maybe the fear of the mirror, the fear of even distractions, because people can be distractions, other people, right? Like a distraction from yourself and your true self. You might feel that sometimes. A lot of people express that in relationship, especially as the relationship grows and expands and you add more people to the relationship, especially when you have children and stuff, right? And it's like, I'm losing myself. So, it's the fear of losing yourself. How deep does that fear go? Well, I keep hearing it goes to your core. Okay, what do I do with this? This is all interesting, but what do I do with this? You pull another card. Okay. All right. You ask for divine guidance. Okay. Here we go. Balance, centered energy, self-care, phase entanglement. Oh, here we go. Okay. Balance is going to come into play, but this is the one they wanted me to see. 33. That's master teacher human. Master teacher energy. That's funny that I said master teacher human. Master teacher energy. 33 is ascended master energy, right? But I said master teacher human. So that's, ascended masters were once human. That's the difference between them and angels, is they actually were physically human. So ascended masters understand this. They understand this fear because they've experienced it. Okay? So phase entanglement, emotional influence. So that, this is all very cool. Okay, many emotions can be transferred to you in your daily life through phase entanglement, which indicates a matching of vibrations. This card reveals the potential for this phenomenon to exert a negative energetic influence in your life at this time. That's what we're afraid of. Okay, here we're getting to the core of it. Whether you're around happy or unhappy people, you can carry their vibration when you leave their presence. There may be someone in your environment who's anxious, depressed, critical, or pessimistic. When you're around them, it drags you down. And when you leave, you bring that negative energy home with you. This is a natural reaction, but this card is telling you to reduce your exposure to those people as much as possible. It's difficult enough to keep yourself optimistic without these energetic vampires making it even more so. Set boundaries. Ask the angels to surround you and counter the negativity with positive and hopeful statements. It's your life. Choose to spend your time with joyous and supportive people. Okay. I choose an optimistic and joyous approach to life. I surround myself with people who share their happiness with me. Okay, so I get it. Okay, so this is wonderful advice, right? It sounds wonderful. But when it's a family member, what do you do, right? When it's your spouse, what do you do? When it's your child, what do you do? When it's someone you work with and you need this job, what do you do, right? So we're going to bring this card in now. Here. So centered energy, self-care, balance. Okay. This card indicates a time of leveling out. While you might have felt off-center or even out of control, a balance is being struck in your daily life. This card is telling you that your time, energy, and emotions are settling down, and you'll be gaining a greater sense of personal control. Even your physical habits, such as eating unhealthfully or not getting enough water or movement, are becoming more moderate and honoring for you too. This important time raises your consciousness about your needs and priorities, reminding you of the self-care you deserve. So be mindful of how you spend your time and whom you spend it with. Honor yourself and make your own health and peace a priority. When you do, balance will become a way of life for the rest of your life. I balance my time and my priorities. It's safe and soul honoring for me to care for myself. Okay, and remember we had the message, speak up, right? In your relationships, be honest and speak up. So that's what it all comes down to. You have to be honest and speak up with your loved ones, with your family, with whoever. And you have to set those boundaries, and it's okay. And do not feel guilty about doing that, okay? Do not feel guilty about doing this. It's just what needs to be done. Okay, we all have to do it. And I hear, and this is interesting, I'm going to say the words that I'm hearing because I don't normally want to say this. I'm like a doctor. I don't want to promise anything, right? I'm not like a doctor, but I just have it. I remember a doctor, actually it was a veterinarian, that said they never promise anything because she promised a certain outcome and then she regretted it because things went wrong. And then she was like, I can't believe I guaranteed you that outcome and promised you that outcome. We never do that as medical professionals. And that always stuck with me. But this is the words that are coming. I promise you, when you do this, things will get better for you and for all who relate to you. Okay? So you're not doing anybody any favors by not doing this. Okay? So don't feel guilty about doing this. You're not doing this just for yourself. You're doing this for you and for all who relate to you in whatever way they relate to you. Okay, that's very interesting. Okay, they want me to put this down here so we can see them all, even though I don't think you're going to be able to see them all. But I'm going to push them up a little bit so you can see them all. At least the top parts of them, right? I think you can see them all now. Okay, and now there are some numbers. The 524, they want me to read. And then the 533. Okay, in this book to start. Okay, 524. Angels are supporting you and your loved ones as you move into more harmonious and serene state. Okay, I'm going to say that again. Angels are supporting you and your loved ones as you move into a more harmonious and serene state. Okay, now I'm going to read it from the other book too. 524. Here it is. Oh, this is a big one. This is a big one. It says, unexpected partnerships that accelerate my growth and fulfillment manifest at the perfect time and in the perfect way. So we're coming back to that idea of attracting these beneficial relationships in, okay, and partnerships in. Okay. And now the 533. What does that want to say to us? You are on the ladder to ascension, and will soon be releasing all of the ties that bind you to fear and old feelings of persecution. Call on Jesus to help you. Jesus is the ascended master, right? That we know of in our time. There's many, but if you're, well, I guess, if you're not Christian, maybe he's not. And but I think everybody, even if they're not Christian, know about Jesus. Where if you are Christian, you might not know about the other ascended masters. But for some reason, I feel like the other religions know about Christianity and know about it. So anyways, I don't know. That's a whole aside that I'm not getting into. I'm going to read it again. You are on the ladder to ascension and will soon be releasing all of the ties that bind you to fear and old feelings of persecution. Call on Jesus to help you. Okay? Now, 533. My spiritual guidance and higher self reassure me that all is well now. Okay? All is well now. All right. So trust that. Everything is okay. There's nothing wrong with any of this. Okay? There's nothing wrong with the imbalance that you went through. They've all gone through it. I hear it. The Ascended Masters, we were human. We've all been through it. This is the human journey. This is the point, the purpose. Okay? Something glimmered and then something went away, but I had a thought that made sense. This is the purpose. This is the journey. This is what you came here for. To lose yourself and find yourself again and again and again and again. There is joy in it. That's why you keep doing it. But at some point, you can choose to sustain the joy, to maintain the joy. You don't have to keep losing yourself to find yourself. You can stay found. And that's why the word prosperity is here, because prosperity means more than just abundance. Prosperity means like it's sustaining. It sustains, right? It's abundance sustained. I'm looking up the real meaning because, it's the state of being prosperous. It's a long period of prosperity. So it's sustaining it, yes. It's the condition of being successful or thriving, but continuously, right? So let's look up the word prosper. They want me to look up the word prosper. Yeah, to succeed in material terms, to flourish, to grow. But I keep getting it's to sustain that. Like prosperity is more like that what is it, that generational wealth. There's something about that generational wealth and breaking those, chains of lack and poverty or whatever, 7 generations back and 7 generations forward, that kind of thing. I don't know what that's about, but you can take that however you want to take that. But that's what this is about. As I can't even speak. It's interesting because remember, it said breaking the ties that bind you. And look, when you go through that finish line, you're breaking that finish line, breaking the ties that bind you. You're breaking, and remember I talked about breaking through the rock bottom. There's a lot of breaking through energy here. Okay, they're showing me the 2442. So let's look at that. A message of abundance, balance, and blessings coming into your life, particularly in your love life. It suggests that happiness, fulfillment, and prosperity are on the way, and that a stable, balanced life is important for your creative endeavors. That's so interesting. That's the summary here. Now I'm going to a deeper meaning of it. It says being true to yourself, and that's it. Speak up, be true to yourself, be truthful in your relationships. When the time comes to make the choices that will impact your life the most, your angels want to ensure you that you are in the right state of mind. This number asks you to carefully connect with those who love you, including your angels, and allow them to help you make your decisions. Okay? This is a sign of clarity. Open your eyes to see the world in a different light than you were before. This is a time to let go of the past and focus on the future. Clarity will enable you to see where you want to go in life, how to achieve the same, and the people you want to beside you when you... It's so weird when it does that. And the people you want beside you when on your success journey. Your guardian angels will help you see yourself in a higher light. Heed to the messages of your guardian angel because they send you messages of hope and encouragement. Okay. That's a beautiful number. Did I look up the right number? No. Okay. Suddenly I looked at that and I was like, did I look up 2442? Okay. So now they want me to look at the 245 and the 425. They're kind of, those numbers relate. 245 and 425. Okay, so 245 first. Archangels are with you to help you cut the cords that are holding you back. Yes. Clear, cancel, and delete the past. And then 425. Your angels are encouraging you to connect with the lessons of your current situation. So whatever your current situation is, these are the lessons of it, okay, that we've been discussing today. I don't know if we read the 533. Yes, we did. They want me to read the 335. Okay. 335. Change is only challenging when you forget that you are one with God and angels. Remember who you are. All right. And that's what we were afraid of, forgetting who we are. So remember who you are. This is where they want me to leave it. I hope this made sense to you. Oh, 2323. They gave me one last number to look at before we go. When they do that as I'm signing off, it's always important. 2323. Let's see what it says. Be creative in life. So remember who you are. You are the creator of your life. It says, Angel number 2323 is encouraging you to have faith in your abilities and trust that they can make your life better if you work on them. So have faith in your abilities and trust that they can make your life better if you work on them. Be creative in life. That's who you are. You are a creator. It says you'll start to see things coming together in your world before too long. And if you keep seeing yourself as worth it, the benefits will be heading your way in no time at all. Remember it said, remember you're a blessed being. So see yourself as worth it. You are blessed. That is the truth. That is who you are. All right. That is where I am going to leave it. Bye-bye for now.